won't let. All right. Enough of that. Lateness is greatness and all of that. Welcome, everyone. Views on Sport. We are back, and I'm happy to have the legend that is Kenny Ken back with us once again to talk all things Arsenal. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm all good. Like, it's been like a bit of a weekend, a bit quiet one really until yesterday. Obviously the Niners is won. I have to say, I'm glad they won. I think that most people go, but come on, they're one of the worst teams to actually win a major competition. They weren't the best team in the competition. They rolled their luck against Sweden, extremely lucky against Italy, and yesterday rose their luck. But the fact is that sometimes when a team plays beautiful football, it has to be cutting edge. Spain should be kicking themselves. They had all of their injury time. They had most of the first half. Second half, they let England get back in the game. And England were blatantly playing for penalties. And that was where Spain went wrong. You know, what's happened to Palileo? 2 years ago, she was playing really, really well. And she was like the start, hidden star of the World Cup. Now, Anyman's got the Palileo, halo this time. And Lopez as well. It's one of the things where, don't write off Spain. I still think that them and America will be my favourites for the Women's World Cup. But now I've done my bit in trying to talk about women's football. Let's talk about the real thing, because let's be honest, it's two different sports, isn't it? Well, we like it's two different sports, just like women's tennis and male tennis is a different sport because men play 5 sets, women play best of 3. So without a shadow, that is a different sport, but it's catching on because the line is successful. But we're an Arsenal channel, and Arsenal always has to come first when it comes to the topic discussion. And I'm going to forewarn you, next season, we're going to be the most watched club in terms of activity on social media.
Right.
In terms, what I mean is YouTube channels of Arsenal are going to be very much watched. The TikTok owned by Arsenal fans be the most watched next season. I think every Arsenal fan who has a Facebook or Twitter account, they'll be very monitored because this is the season now. It should have been last season when Arsenal, Man City fell off their perch. It was meant to be us, the next cab to rank. This season is basically like, if you want to sort of like label it, no excuses. It's a no excuses season. Yes, we're third favourites behind Liverpool and Man City, rightly so. Yeah. Yes, we're not one of the favourites for the Champions League, but if we get Eze, then we have to compete. Yeah. If both those teams, all the teams in Europe fall off the perch, we have to be there waiting and ready. So there's no excuse.
No, I totally agree. And big up everyone coming in at the moment. We're having a bit of a mare on StreamYard. It's doing what it did before, and it's not letting me see the comments, so I can see a couple of you on my phone. So big up Kwaja. Hope you're good this evening. Big up Shane Gooner in the building. He's bigging up Kenny. Bigging up Views. Big yourself up, my bro. Make sure you guys are all subscribing to Shane, doing big things over there. Big up Gavin L. Big up Wahaha. Darren Martin. Gavin O'Flahy, I see you. BBK's in the building. Big up, brother. Darren Martin as well. Big yourselves up. Share this out as well if you can. We've got a legend in the building. We know Deluded, and we got quite a few people live at the minute. So I would appreciate your support, guys. We want to talk all things Arsenal, and we want to kind of talk about what to realistically expect. And every time, sometimes, I need a little bit of realism. I think let me look in to see what Kenny's saying. I think let me look in to see what Matty's saying. Obviously, I watch Shane daily anyway. You know what I mean? So that's why I thought I'd call it what to expect. I see you on with DG, and I saw you was very how would I say, animated about a certain individual, a certain striker, and a certain celebration. I thought, let me not wind up Ken. Let me see if I can get him to do it, but I'm not even going to do it.
It's not me doing that celebration. I think it's not anyone 40 and over doing that celebration is quite. You have to ask yourself some questions, especially if you're a father and and in some cases your grandfather. You need to sort of like lighten up,
Right,
you know,
right,
lighten
right.
up, because simple reason is that we do this all the time, and the problem with social media or any form of new media, you don't once you share that which is there for life, and people, and just in case you try to delete it,
Mm.
people copy it, and keep it as their own. So all those the video about AFTV, that's used again in May.
Yeah,
All the
yeah.
other fans, doing a celebration, that's there to be used as well. And I think what it is that I get a lot of criticism when I go on DG's show. Me and DJB get criticism because we can't be what we're not.
Mm.
There's a lot of people who are on social media go on DG's show, and they're established YouTube channels
Mm.
or YouTube content creators,
Yeah.
and the first thing they would do is praise everything the club does, praise the manager, give people hope. You
Mm.
know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
One guy, he always gives people hope. He's very eloquent how he speaks. One of the best speakers out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he gives people hope, which is brilliant. But it's hard to have hope when you were the next Carabao last season and Liverpool won the league easily. They won it easily.
Easily, yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a hard sell next season as well.
Yeah.
If once again we're in a situation where, let's face it, I was watching this video with a Spurs fan. He's very upfront on TikTok, and some of the things he said was true
Right.
in terms of like the Premier League
Mm.
being a farmers' league,
Right.
where only realistically 3 people got a chance of winning it. And then he mentioned the European Cup or the Champions League, where, let's face it, there's 6 English teams.
Mm.
And then you've got obviously the normal services, but Real Madrid are not as strong as they should be. They're disorganised.
Yeah.
Barcelona still probably need another year.
Mm.
So this is a year where an English club can win the Champions League. So again, it's a case where we're going to look at our performances in both these major competitions, and we're going to look for we're not going to look for progress. We're going to just look for trophies. Simple.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Let's keep it. If Arsenal don't win a trophy next season, it's going to be a very humbling experience.
Very humbling experience. Very humbling experience. Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of anger.
Yes.
And if you think you saw infighting with Arsene Wenger's reign towards the end, there's going to be a lot of infighting next season, because people will take it personally, and people will get aggressive with each other, especially if people who think Mikel Arteta should be replaced are hearing that, give him more time. Look what he's done to the club, and being told ungrateful. It's going to kick off. So there's a lot of pressure on this club from all sides.
Yes, there is. And you would know as well, and you're there, because some people are saying, no, you don't know what you're talking about. There's no discourse on the terrace or whatnot. And I'm saying, look, there's people that go there that know what's going on. They can see that the screw's turning. But that's what I wanted to kind of get into. And let me just once again big up everyone in the chat. Make sure you're smashing the like. DG2, I see you. I'm having the same problem. I can see this comment because we are live streaming on Twitch and on YouTube at the same time. Big up everyone over on Twitch. Make sure you're liking over there. Follow me over there. Big up Everest. Showing love over on Twitch. I appreciate you, my guy. That's the only thing that's coming up in my comment section on StreamYard, but I can see you guys on my phone. I'm trying to keep an eye on it. Big up Binks in the building. Any questions that you have for Kenny, just put a Q by it and I'll try and get it over to him. Big up Rob Future. I appreciate you as well, guy. Big yourselves up. Smash the likes. So I want to kind of talk about the transfer window, and I want to talk about Mr. Burt. The A's still off of his name at the moment, even though we've got Gyökeres in. The questions that I'm getting on X and Insta and everywhere I go, Burt is cooking. So, I want to get a realist, man. I want to get the legend that is Ken. I want you to tell me, is Burt cooking, Ken?
Well, first and foremost, Berta's I call him open goal Berta.
Yeah.
That's all he is open goal Berta. He's just he's seen things, he's seen a situation where he's recognised the problems we had last season. Last season, we had a lot of injuries, and our thin squad basically was illuminated. Everyone could see the problems we had when we didn't have our first team. For a start, players got overplayed last season, which led to injuries. There's no doubt that Mikel Arteta's insistence of playing Kai Havertz and Bukayo Saka in virtually every game led to those injuries. Doesn't matter what any people can, get upset with what I've said. Good night, but the proof is in the pudding. You have to look at the Carling Cup games or Carabao Cup games where they featured when they didn't need to feature.
Yeah.
So that was the time when you could have rotated them, but you didn't rotate them because he's a slave to the system. So Berta's seen that. He's seen a situation like Jorginho's leaving, and that's another squad player. So he's got another squad player in Norgard. That's an open goal.
Yeah.
The Kepa signing's an open goal as well, because let's face it, without a shadow of a doubt, everything fell into place. He's getting paid a massive wage from Chelsea. Bournemouth can't afford his wages. We can. He gets to stay in London, which suits. And then the most important thing as well, we need an experienced number 2, someone who's, unfortunately, for a goalkeeper of his early talent, that's basically what he's been. At Chelsea, when they brought Mendy, he was a number 2. He became a number 2, even though he cost £72 million. He'd been sent out loan to Bournemouth, Real Madrid previously, where he wasn't the number 1 there. So he's had experience of big games, and he will play games this season, especially in the Carabao Cup. And if there's any injury to Raya, he'll play and he'll be able to fit in. And it would be a situation where obviously Raya's the better goalkeeper, but you've got someone who's got experience. Whether he's competent, we don't know. But that's another player on go. The Madueke one has Berta's fingerprints all over it.
Really?
You can play if you want. But the fact is that my hunch is, remember, I've got no proof, but it seems like the timeline reached a convenience. Chelsea buy a whole load of wingers on both flanks. All of a sudden, he's been told his separate requirement. I believe that he was offered to Chelsea, and that Berta went, right, this is an England international. He's a player with some good experience. Let's get him in, and that's why we're on. That's why he's at the club. Plus, there's another thing as well. He can play right wing, but at Chelsea he has played the left wing, and maybe if Arteta wants to go orthodox, direct, that's an option that you could play Madueke on the left wing. Yeah, where it's like you can argue that Martinelli hasn't had a couple of good seasons, and that you've got a genuine alternative to Martinelli. All not invited, but as I said before, you can't deny the fact that is another open goal signing, and then obviously he's going to get a lot of credit. I suppose he would deserve a bit of credit because a lot of fans, I've looked at the Gyökeres signing, and they've let me shut this door.
Also, the legend that is Ken. Got people coming in, man. We know how it goes. I got a full house as well. Big up everyone in the chat. Big up T.
Go back to what I was saying.
Yeah,
he's looked at the Gyökeres signing, and that's where it's a blue ribbon kind of discussion amongst Arsenal fans. All you hear from Arsenal fans is, "We need a striker. We need a striker. If we had a striker, we won the Champions League. A striker, we won the league." Haaland, he's cooking at Man City. Scoring. If we match it, for their sort of striker options, I think we can definitely win the league. That's the one player it's missing. So obviously, Berta's looked at that, and said, right, let's not forget we had a long-term interest in Sesko. That cannot be denied. He should have come to the club in the beginning of last season, 24-25. That didn't happen. He should have been at the club by now. Unfortunately, both seasons, negotiations hit a wall over personal terms, and the money that Leipzig feel they need and what they want. He went elsewhere and thought, right, I know how much Mikel Arteta wants Sesko, how much he feels that he's going to be the player that he will fit completely into the way we want to play. He's basically like a younger Kai Havertz, but a Kai Havertz can score goals and a Kai Havertz with pace, and Kai Havertz is more direct. That's how he wants to play. So he said, right, we're going to go look at Gyökeres, and that's basically what happened. But as soon as we looked at Gyökeres, it was beginning and end of the Sesko deal. He was the first choice, but let's face it, it was a situation where he put himself in the front of the queue because Berta contacted him first. He says he wants to join, and then that was relayed to the manager. So you've got to give Berta a lot of credit for actually getting off the road, because that is not a Mikel Arteta signing. Mikel Arteta will get the credit if he scores the sufficient goals and win the league. After all, his achievement, but in terms of like initial interest, this is Mikel Arteta's second choice. It's not his first choice. But hey ho, if it works out, it works out. But Berta will always get credit for that one signing alone. All the other stuff, I call it like open goal. However, if you can get Eze to the football club, I think that will impress a lot of people, because let's face it, he's a player that really could change things. Or even Rodrigo, who can really change things, left wing, on the left. However, Berta has to be realistic. He has to be realistic, and he has to do his other job, which is to bomb people out. It's no good bombing out Reece Nelson. He's got to make a decision on Martinelli, not just for the performance sake, but also the fact that at the age of 23, 24, he's got a high ceiling in terms of money we can get from other clubs. We've seen what Liverpool did. With Diaz. With Diaz. Buying off of 58, Liverpool said no. They come back a week and a half later with 68 million. And that's just negotiations we can get from Martinelli. Don't get me wrong. It's running out a bit, because obviously Bayern have now got Diaz, and Rashford's gone to Barcelona. But there's still other, suitable clubs for him to go to, but they have to pay that price. The fact is that I don't see us spending any more money of any significance until we make a saving.
Until we make a sell. And I wanted to talk, because obviously, and I agree with you, I think Arteta's identified Madueke to come in and do this left-hand side role, honestly. And that's how he's probably sold the project. Like, you are going to play, you're not going to just be behind Saka. You'll get game time on the left. When he gets subbed off, you might switch over this, that, and the other. I mean, look, the reason why me personally, I say Berta's not quite cooking, like he's doing okay, but he's not quite cooking, is because I feel like people fail to realize that I was saying it was 7, but today someone in the chat, I think it was Dio or someone, they told me 2 more. We've had 9 players that have left the squad. So if we already had a small squad last season, and everyone's saying it's the greatest transfer ever, Ken, because we got 6 players in, but we let go of 9. So if anything, so we're -3, and it's not just 9 kids, Ken. Voldemort, I call him that, he who can't be named. He's gone. Jorginho, obviously the 2 loanies in Neto and Sterling. Kieran Tierney, that's for me, that's first team quality, even though we didn't get a fair shake of the rug. That's why I call Voldemort. I just didn't want to mention his name. He's gone. Butler, Oyadeji, Nuntavaj, Marquinhos. So, and they've just left. In terms of Nuntavaj and Marquinhos, I don't know if we got any money for those, but all of the rest of
any fee we get, they wouldn't disclose it, which is as good as nothing. But you've still got the situation. You've got Lokonga at the club still. You've still obviously got Reece Nelson, I mentioned. You've still got Fabio Vieira. So these are players that obviously that we have to look at, who are not going to be able to get first team football. But in terms of the money you can bring in, you have to consider it. Trossard's another one who's, even though he's training with us and he's featured in both pre-season games, this is a player that I believe is getting feet and it will be able to move. I know at the beginning of last season there was a last-minute attempt to sign him from the Middle East teams, and I think that question's still to be answered. Trossard is definitely a player that he's itching to leave. He's probably worried about his game time again, and I'm inclined to agree with that. In that, if we sign players like the Maduekes and we try and players like Eze, we know that Trossard, even though he's dispatched to the wing, we know that he can do a bit more than what Martinelli can do, and he can actually play in field as well. But we're asking for Eze. Well, we're not going to need Trossard. You know, Eze's not a left winger by any chance. He's a player that starts off the left, but he's actually a creative source that can work just beyond the front two.
Yep.
And where he can where you can try him in a number 8 position, and he can play obviously in a number 10 position. And then so let's be honest, that is a player that that Arsenal fans have looking at. I've been calling for his signing since last December. So he's a player that I'd definitely like to see. However, it's all well and good, having quantity, but you have to have the quality as well.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think fans will accept. You'll accept, by all means, a smaller squad if that squad is full of quality.
Yes.
If the squad isn't full of quality, then what the situation is that question to be asked, because you've got to remember one thing. Someone's not happy. I think Satrella is really tapped out on Kai Havertz. Just saw the comment just now.
Big up everyone on Twitch, man. Big up everyone on Twitch as well.
I just lost the train of thought there. But let's be honest. Let's be honest. Last season, it wasn't just the injuries that cost us.
No,
and obviously that led to us drawing games and indiscipline. It was just a lack of quality. It's just we had to bring people back from injury ahead of schedule, like Saka. We try to bring Kai Havertz ahead of schedule because let's face it, if you take away the first 11, the actual people who are going to replace the first team, there's a little bit of depth in quality. There's a bit of a, how to say it? It's like players there. In the first choice players are right in an area that we need them to be, and then you got his replacement is just in terms of quality, he's far off what we need. And I think these signings are going to bridge the gap. However, Dan asked me 2 weeks ago, how do you rate the window? You know what I said to him? Wait till May. I gave it 0 out of 10. I didn't give it 0 out of 10 to be difficult. I gave it 0 out of 10 because
it's pending.
It's really unfair to actually put people on the spot and say, how do you think that Bert has done? How do you think the manager's done in terms of signings? You have to see him play. How many times have you seen a player bought for a shed loads of money and it hasn't worked out? Do you remember Robbie Keane at Liverpool?
Yep.
Robbie Keane went to Liverpool in 2008, and he was meant to be that little missing link. By January, he was sent back to Spurs.
But
I went with Spurs or Celtic. I think with Spurs, he went back to one of those clubs. Anyway, either way, it didn't work out for him. I've seen it over the years where, I'm going back way before your time, but I know Brian Clough bought a couple of players in the 80s, and then he even started in competitive games. John Sheridan went from Leeds to Nottingham Forest, played one game for Nottingham Forest. Gary Megson went from Sheffield Wednesday to Nottingham Forest, didn't play one game. So it happens where you buy these players and you don't settle. Look what's happened with Hoyland at Man United, Xerxes. Young players with big reputations. It hasn't worked out. Paul Pogba is a fantastic player. A fantastic player. However, you look at what Man United, he had great moments at Man United, but not too many of them. He should have been a player that they should have built statues off of. And sometimes that's where it is in terms of football. You've got to wait till May to make a different decision and say, right, what do you give this signing out of 10? 7, 8, 5, 6. That's how you do it. Like Kai Havertz. You look at the Kai Havertz signing, a lot of Arsenal fans seen that we bought it for £65 million. By December, we were questioning him because he didn't score many goals. And then he improved, and then the second season he was improving and got injured. But if you ask a lot of Arsenal fans, has that been a successful signing? They'll say no.
No, yeah.
But if you ask them about Declan Rice, that's that for majority of Arsenal fans. That's a qualified
Yeah,
success. That's
yeah,
successful signing. You
yeah,
know what I mean? So
yeah.
sometimes you have to watch. You have to see him play. You have
Just
to see how they settle at a football club. You
mm,
know, and
mm,
then you can make your judgment. You can get excited because at the end of the day, we're only marking these potential transfers on potential only. We're not actually marking them on actual quality because we don't know the.
don't
If
know.
you see how well they play at other teams,
Yeah.
but you got to remember one thing: it's how they play for Arsenal.
Mm.
There's no doubt Mesut Ozil was one of the best players on his day in Europe. But
We never
Arsenal fans,
really got the best of him. Yeah, yeah,
never really saw the best of him on a consistent
yeah,
basis. But
yeah,
Real Madrid fans did,
yeah.
Werder Bremen fans
Did
did, and
yeah.
arguably the German
National.
German fans when he was playing for the national team, they saw the best of Mesut Ozil. But when you speak to Arsenal fans, I think what's happened is that a lot of Arsenal fans fell in love with the idea that a big star wanted to join Arsenal.
Yeah, yeah,
But if
yeah,
you ask Arsenal fans about Alexis Sanchez, come on,
yeah. Exactly.
one Arsenal fan is going to say that he was a poor signing.
Mm.
Then not one Arsenal fan is going to say he divided opinion. Not
Yeah.
one.
Not one. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right, man. Look, again, spitting facts as usual, and I don't even like to break you up, but obviously we have got a couple of things coming through. I got questions on Twitch, I got questions on YouTube. Let me get to I'll tell you what, we'll get to the first one that's up here on the screen. Big up Everest, man. Big up everyone over on Twitch. Make sure you're following there as well. Kenny, do you have any upcoming cricket schedules to
I'm
attend?
sorry to say that. There's obviously there's a fifth test that's soon where it's very the test series is basically it's England's really to win in terms of like India. They're not the side they were 4 or 5 years ago. They had Kohli, players like Rohit Sharma,
Mm,
and Bumrah had support from bowlers like Shami. He doesn't have that support. There's a very young up and coming team where they're individuals. So England should go in the test at the Oval to win very comfortably. And obviously, if you like cartoon cricket, then there's the 100, which is going to start in a week. It's going to start in a week's time. The first game's going to be the Oval Invincibles versus the London Spirit at Lords. So any fan who hasn't bought any tickets wants to get himself over to Lords on the 5th of August, get yourself over there because that's the start of the 100 competition.
wicked.
But in anything else, there's not really much cricket. It's very quiet around the world, but in England, this is the season.
Right.
But the good thing about the cricket is that when we get into August, couple of weeks' time, we've got a football season.
Football 17th, Old Trafford, man, and
Exactly.
I'm sitting there nodding away, and I know absolutely nothing about cricket. But big up Everest and big up you. I know obviously you're an avid cricket fan. Like I said, big up everyone on YouTube as well. I'm just looking down so I can try and find the question that we had. I appreciate you guys tapping in. And rocking with me and Ken this evening. Shane had a question. He said, for Kenny, if Newcastle replace Isak with 2 decent strikers and sign 1 or 2 more players, do you see them challenging for top 4? And if so, do you think we are in a top 4 fight if we start slow?
Well, yeah, the fixtures have been really kind of us, but the fixtures at the end of the season are manageable with the exception of Man City. We've got Newcastle at home, but at home we always have good results against Newcastle. But I see where you come from in terms of like where we are. It's a situation where realistically, if we do drop points, then realistically, Liverpool will be very difficult to catch, and so will Man City. So, judging by what we saw last season, although we were like second, there were a lot of teams behind us who basically just weren't good enough to, like punish us for every mistakes we made. There's a lot of inconsistencies. Newcastle, it's a clever one. They have bought Alanga, good player, but the Isak one is very troubling because you think about it, they've already didn't give Callum Wilson another contract. So we always look at Newcastle, a hard game. One of the reasons why we fear Newcastle, because not only do they play football, which basically is negative, stops us from, playing an actual game. They've got a cutting edge just in case they get that one chance. That cutting edge ain't there anymore. So without Isak, and if they don't replace him, then we should go to St James's Park with a different mindset. We know Newcastle got the players and the system to hurt us, but have they got the cutting edge to nick the game from us? And Isak's going to be a massive loss, absolutely massive loss, especially there's no Callum Wilson. That, as far as I know, they're still out looking at Wizza, who's trying to force a move to Newcastle from Brentford, and then they missed out on Ekitike. He's got Liverpool.
Yeah,
with Isak desperate to leave to go to Liverpool. There's only one player I can think of to play for him. You know who I'm talking about, don't you? He's 6'5". He's brilliant, and he plays for Leipzig. Who know that this guy will go there and think, you know what, everything's in place. I think Newcastle will give in to the guy's demands. They'll accept that he'll be looking to better himself in 2 or 3 years' time. But they'll accept that if that means they can play in the Champions League.
Yeah, no.
He's answered the same question. Are we in a top 4 race? At the moment, no. We're still like one of the third team, one of the 3 teams that can win the league. However, if results go south and they don't improve, then we could be in a top 4 race.
Yeah,
at the moment, I'd say at the moment, not at the moment. I still think that we're one of the 3 clubs that can win this league.
Sure, that's where I kind of feel. I feel like we're kind of in like a kind of purgatory. Do you know what I mean? I think it will be City Pool next season, and then I think it will be kind of us. And depending on how we do, we could either be right next to the pack, or we can kind of be in purgatory looking ahead.
That's the thing, Views. If you look at it, there's still the only team that's capable of actually penetrating the top 3 is probably Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea.
One, because they got the experience of winning big games. You only have to see the World Cup championships. People can degrade it all they like and can go into denial, but they can't. But the fact is, they smashed PSG to pieces.
Yeah.
And they're buying players. They're getting a young enough team who every season they're going to get more experience and then get better. And you're in the Champions League. And you look at, they got Cole Palmer, focal point. They've now improved the strikers. They got, Reece James, they keep him fit. They could be a threat, to the top 3. No, Newcastle should be, but Newcastle at the moment, they haven't got out of that tag of being a team that can get the Champions League. I don't think that they got the players to win the league. All the rest of them, it's Aston Villa, another Champions League team. Yeah. And you have to say that Man United, they'll improve on what they did last season, but they'll be happy with a trophy, right? And maybe getting into like top Champions League, top 4, or just top 5, if it depends how English clubs do. But they'll be happy with that. So they're no real. Those teams I mentioned are no real threat to the top 3, with the exception of probably Chelsea.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And the thing is, like, they more or less reached their targets last season. Beat what's in front of you. They won the Conference League. They got into Champions League, and I actually think they've been quite competent in the transfer market, if I'm being honest with you. But I kind of want to really
trust me, they'll do well in the Champions League. I'll tell you now, they will do well in the Champions League. Let me tell you something now. Out of all the European giants, there's not the fear for them. And I'm just saying that. State of play today, the date is the 28th of July. Real Madrid, until they get Militao back, get a proper midfield, and basically play like a team. They're for me, they're gonna. If they do all those things, then they'll be back with vengeance in the Champions League. But at this moment in time, no. Barcelona. need to replace Lewandowski.
Yeah.
Harry Kane at Bayern Munich, they got a chance, but you always think that they're probably a semi-final team or quarter-final team.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got PSG and Internazionale are a good functional side, but when you run at them with great pace, you can beat them. So when you think about it, it's a good chance for an English club to win the Champions League, especially with the amount of teams in there.
Yeah.
Obviously, Liverpool were the best team in the group stages, not in the league stages, but when it came to like the knockout stages, just ran out of gas.
Yeah.
And PSG just were a different side. So, and Man City, look, they didn't even get out of first base. Well, they got to the playoffs. So, in essence, Arsenal got the furthest than any other teams, got the semi-finals. But this is where Arsenal got improved now because they got Mendy, who they bought for Europe. They got Gyökeres, who I think will score hat loads of goals in Europe. I think Arsenal, you need to look at this and think, you know what? We've had a look at this competition for the last 2 years. There's not really much to fear.
Yeah.
We'll beat ourselves. If we lose it will be us. We'll beat ourselves.
Yeah.
And the same with the Champions League, we'll beat ourselves because there's just something missing when it comes to like getting over the line. There's something missing from this team.
Yeah.
It's like we always seem to run into a team that has the game of their lives.
Yeah.
Like everything's pitch perfect. Defensively, the midfield, they run the midfield, and they have a cutting edge up top. And then that's us. We just disintegrate. Look what happened in 23. Look how many against Villa.
Yeah.
Villa had the game of their lives at the Emirates, and that was it. Game over, no trophies. Last season, we had loads of teams that had games of their lives, and we won nothing. And then you look at the Champions League, PSG had the game of their lives. So we may have changed the personnel, and we may have got better players, but it's got to be up there.
Yeah.
As much as we look like we're mentally strong in the league and we're hard to break down, when it comes to like the nitty gritty, where it comes to like the pressure where you can get over the line, we're still missing it up.
Right. And that's why I say don't bin away the domestic cups. Don't do stuff like that because winning breeds winning. Yeah, like you said, it's up there. Let me get to a couple more of these questions. Big up Rob Future. I am aware that I can only see the chat on Twitch. It's not nothing to do with the multi-stream. He done this the other day. Like I don't normally have.
He don't like Havertz, does he?
No, like he don't. Is that might even be Dio? He's come specifically from YouTube because he knows that we can see these comments on Twitch. So big up Dio for that one. Let me just quickly ask you Rob's question. He said, "Do you believe the club sacks Mikel if he wins nothing next season, or will they let him run down the final year of his contract?"
The football club are only going to do it. Are basically going to look and monitor social media. They're going to monitor. They're what I call the chosen ones amongst content creators, i.e. the chosen ones who go on Talk Sport, and have chosen Talk Sport, the chosen ones who go on the Overlap, and the chosen ones who are journalists or fans turned journalists who 9 out of 10 times back the manager no matter what.
Yeah,
and then what they'll do is that they'll look at the crowds and see what the atmosphere is like in the crowds. They know full well that they've got it covered in terms of empty spaces because they already will get you back if you vacate your seat and you stop going. Then they'll take your season ticket off you anyway. So they know they closed off that avenue.
Yeah.
So what they're going to look at is fan behaviour, and then they're going to look at or probably monitor phone-ins because they know they got these guys in their pockets. All these guys, these chosen ones, it may not be enough for their opinions to keep Mikel in the work. So they're going to look else to see what does the match going fan think of it. The ones who will phone 606 Radio 5, the ones who will phone Drive Time Talk Sport. They're the ones that the club will look at. If there's no discord, then the club will keep Mikel Arteta. and let him run out his contract, and then they'll make a decision.
Yeah.
But let's face it, he's more in danger if he don't get top 4 than he is of not winning anything.
Big facts. Big facts for the KSC lot. Champions League, status quo, money. Big facts. Kenny always giving you the real, and that's why I told you what to expect. We got another question. They're coming in thick and fast. I'm trying to get to the ones on YouTube because I'm aware they don't come up on the screen. AFC always says, question to Kenny, what are your top 5 Arsenal players of all time?
Oh, that's easy. All right, I'm going to say Bergkamp, Henry, or if you want Henry, Bergkamp, because I think Henry, but most of Arsenal fans say Bergkamp, but I still think Titi's their best ever player. Liam Brady, number 4, Robert Pires is number 4. Easily, Robert Pires is one of the, and then after that, I have to say, like, because of the leadership, Tony Adams.
Tony Adams, yeah.
Those are my 4 best players, 5 best players.
Yeah.
Henry, Bergkamp, Liam Brady, Robert Pires, and Tony Adams. I know other people will put Vieira in the mix.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I understand that. I respect that. I know some fans think that Alexis Sanchez will give Pires a run for his money, but I don't see that. I think Robert Pires, that's as much as Alexis Sanchez brought a lot of pleasure to fans. Yeah. I think during the end of the Wenger years, Alexis Sanchez was a big fish in a small pond. Whilst Robert Pires, that season when he got in, before he got injured in 2002, he was the best player in Europe.
Yeah.
And he came back from a serious injury, and he was one of our mainstays when we won the league, going unbeaten in 2004. Thierry Henry is father of all. Bergkamp is a sort of player that can play with his eyes closed. And he scores some memorable goals. But through Dennis, a lot of fans don't want to admit that. There are a lot of times when Dennis went through inconsistent periods.
Where he wasn't always producing, It
wasn't always producing, but when he did produce, it was a stuff of memories. However, you can't say that about Thierry.
No.
Thierry, after he improved in November 1999, when we played him up top, there was no periods of inconsistency up until the 2006-2007 season when he got injured because Wenger ran him into the ground. For those 7-year periods, Thierry had no periods of inconsistency. I always felt when Thierry put on his boots, put the shirt on, crossed the white line, we'll never lose.
Yeah, that was it. Never lose. And that's what I would say.
Feeling security.
Yeah.
I'm never feeling security with any other player other than Thierry.
Yeah.
It was like I used to have a good night's sleep when I knew he wasn't injured. I knew he was playing.
Facts. and defenders would have nightmares knowing that they're playing him in the next game. Big up the legend that is Carl Walsh Gunner in the chat as well. Static, I see you. Ehis, big yourselves up. The YouTube chat is not coming up. It is coming up over on Twitch. So if you want to go over there and give us a follow, you're welcome to do so. Big up Compost Smurf. Binks, I see you as well. I think there was a question from Binks, if I didn't miss it. I can't see it at the moment, but there is one here. Is Havertz the worst signing we've ever made that played over 50 games?
Not really. I think with Kai Havertz is that Kai Havertz, right? He is what he is on a tin. The performances that that we've seen at Arsenal is exactly what the performances that he displayed at Chelsea. I think the thing with Kai Havertz is that he's seen as a generational talent. He was at Leverkusen, and he was one of the most sought after players in Europe. That's why Chelsea paid big money for him. We paid big money for him at Arsenal because Mikel Arteta needed a player who can play 2 or 3 positions. That's why he got him in the side. But to be honest with Kai Havertz, I understand where Arsenal fans are angry because when a player costs that amount of money, you need to see consistency. You know what I mean? And I think with Kai Havertz, we've never really seen that. We've seen the odd moments
Purple
where you
patch.
have good few games,
Yeah.
and then it'll be quiet again. I think the thing with Kai Havertz, right, is that we don't want him to be quietly effective or occasionally effective. We want consistency. So he's open to criticism. And let's face it, after his performance against Man United in the Cup, as much as you disagree with the methods that we use, especially making it personal to his family, the fact is, a lot of Arsenal fans were pissed off. That was bad.
Yeah.
That was bad. And that's the worst thing about it. He was actually trying, but it was bad. It was so bad.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was bad. And he culminated with that.
Yeah.
He actually, put the ice on the cake by missing the penalty that led to Man United knocking us out of the cup.
Yeah.
So I don't think Arsenal fans will ever get over that. And I don't blame Arsenal fans for their anger towards him, because let's face it, when you're at Arsenal, this isn't a charity. We're at the biggest time. You have to embrace the pressure. Mikel Arteta should be in pressure every game. A draw should be frowned upon at Arsenal.
Yep.
Arsenal fans and Arsenal players and the manager should own our status as a massive club. If you don't think we're a massive club, then don't come here. Don't support the club.
Facts.
We should be able to make demands.
Facts.
We all know some of you guys have got the gig and you want to get behind the team. We know that when you go to games, it's win, draw, lose, everyone on the booze. I get that. But not everyone wants that. They actually want to win as well.
Exactly. They want to win as well. Sorry, just to go on. Sorry, carry on.
Well, I'm just saying that. And one thing about it is, I'm going to say something. You got one of the biggest waste of times, apart from this Havertz celebration and that North London Forever song, which is a joke, absolute joke. It's a joke. It's not a funny one.
No.
Stop asking fans. Let's all get together. We don't want to be with you guys. We want to, we want to support the club our way. Because when you guys say let's get together, you only say that because you want everyone to agree with you and you want brownie points. Fans are never going to be on the same wavelength. We're never going to get together. We've all got our own minds. Social media has taught us that we've got a platform where we can say as much as what we like about issues, especially football. So you're wasting your time when you say, "Oh, let's all get together." And no, you do you, and I'll do me.
No, I'll do me. Exactly that. And you stay over there and we'll stay over here. Because I'm exactly with you, Ken. Because like I said, when I was younger growing up, we were doing things, we won things. Wenger will be getting stick if we finish second. It's not now. These guys are really celebrating second, like but we don't get beat by the big six teams anymore. Like
that's not enough. You know what, Views?
Yeah,
Views ain't enough anymore, because let's face it, whether people like it or not, the fact is expectations are high. You can't. Let's be honest. A lot of people became Arsenal fans for various reasons. Some of them became Arsenal fans because they identified with Ian Wright. People from the West Indies and Africa and parts of the United States saw there was a lot of black players there, so they identify with our great club. A lot of people like myself identify with our great club because we're locals, and asked the Arsenal, like I said, dictionary Bible was indoctrinated into us. So we support the club for all various reasons, but the fans who supported the club in the last 10, 15 or 20 years, or 25 years, they support the club built on its success. Not so much from George Graham, although some did become Arsenal fans because of the George Graham success era, but 100% because of the early Wenger years. So if you're supporting the club because of that success, you can't all of a sudden start celebrating second on the basis, it's improved because Chelsea used to beat us home and away, Man United used to beat us home and away, and we have a soft touch. Yeah, you should always be difficult to beat when you play for Arsenal. You should always be going for trophies when you're at Arsenal Football Club. You should always be part of that conversation because of the status of the club. Don't get me wrong, Mikel Arteta things have improved, but the fact is that you can't just water down expectations.
Exactly.
And you can't water down my argument by saying, well, yeah, you've got to be happy. Why should I be happy for it?
Yeah,
This is our football club. You should be
especially
everything.
especially Ken, when they keep setting those expectations, because we're not saying be excited or I've got goosebumps or anything like that. It's the manager, it's the club that keeps saying that. You know, they have to, don't they? You know why?
Trust me, trust me. You only have to look at the videos I've seen since we got Gyökeres. I mean, you saw a video from AFTV, and there's a few people. There's one person, two people now I'm really close to, and I'll be asking them how do they feel about that. But I'll ask them in about 6 months' time, how do you feel about it? And I'll ask them because that was just that's bad. That's bad.
That is cringe, and we all suffer.
You know, that's bad. It reminded me of something. It reminded me of like one of those old bad 70s cop shows.
Yeah,
they're running away from the coppers, and it's all in slow motion. Something out of Mind or Starsky. So bad.
Oh, that was so bad. It was so bad. It was so cringeworthy. And I was saying that to Shane, this is the stuff that we all have to deal with. We're all getting bantered for that. I was getting messages galore that day. Have you seen this crap on AFTV? I said, look, I couldn't even get a minute into it. By the time
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. They always have to be seen as the biggest supporters. You know what I mean? No one supports the club more than them. They'll tell you, well, we go to every game and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we know you go to every game, but I go to every game because I love going. You go to every game because it's your business. Not all of you, because don't get me wrong, you are Arsenal fans and you are Arsenal supporters, but ultimately your business demands and your content which pays for your upkeep, and it's your full-time job. It's also your job. And I always say it's nice to love your job.
Yeah.
But let's just say this is more than a job for a lot of fans. For you, it's business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you get upset if we lose and you make more money. That's lazy. That's lazy, because I've seen videos where if we win big and we win a big tournament, the views go high because they like to see other fans celebrate. So I think that's a bit of a myth.
Yeah.
But in terms of it's not just them, it's people who threw their weight behind the Sesko signing, potential Sesko signing, and had videos and bullet points of what a great signing is going to be. And then all of a sudden, the minute we're no longer lit with them, they decided that they were Gyökeres fans after all.
Yeah, doing the celebration. Yeah.
Doing the celebration. I mean, how can you go from one experience to another? Why can't you be honest like me and say, you know what, I have reservations that I could see where the manager was going. Like, you don't agree with me. You're a Gyökeres fan. I can tell you're a Gyökeres fan. And I respect you for that.
Yeah.
But you know what I respect you more for is that you always have been a Gyökeres man.
Always.
And you've never bought into Sesko. I bought into Sesko for what reason? I'm not an Arteta fan, but I could see the way we play. I thought long term Sesko may cook, and that in terms of what's required, he won't get 25 or 30 goals, but he might sneak in 15 league goals, and then maybe affecting the Champions League. But Gyökeres, I think he'll get that anyway. I don't think Gyökeres will get 20 league goals next season. I think he'll get between 15 and 17. But in the Champions League, he'll cook and get about 7 or 8 goals. So that'd be 25 league and cup goals.
Yeah. In total. That's what I think. I think he'll get. I said that. I said I don't know if he'll get 20 league goals in the first season. I said, but that ain't a failure. Do you know what I mean? It's not.
Well, yeah, but the way they big up Gyökeres, they would say it is a failure. This guy's under immense pressure. There's no settling period for him. Seriously, there isn't. The way some of the fans describe him, and the way they sort of like describe him as like elite signing. Yeah. Well, I say it respectfully. He's no Haaland. No, that's elite. He's no Mbappe. That's elite. You know what I mean? He's a player that is the best available. Who just happens to have got a fantastic record. The challenge now is, could he translate that into our league, where there's better teams. Don't get me wrong, it's still a Farmers League, but it's not quite the Farmers League that is the
He's used to,
the Portuguese league.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree, man. And like I said, I feel like he'll get like, I don't know, 17, 18, maybe even 19 goals. I feel like he might get 20 plus in all competitions. And I think that's a good season for him because I am expecting that to drop off immensely. The
thing that we've got to take in consideration as well, though, about a show of that, we can have all these players, we can have all this squad. On paper, we're still a furlong behind Liverpool and Man City.
Yep.
And we're still not favourites to win the league.
I agree.
Based on the fact that if you go from the league, if you go from 2018 up until 2025, only 2 teams won the Premiership. Man City's rivals have never been Arsenal. It's always been Liverpool.
Yep.
We some fans shoehorn themselves into a rivalry in Man City, but we actually didn't take any silverware from them. Liverpool have taken silverware from them. They've taken a Champions League off them. They've taken 2 league titles off them. And they've taken an FA Cup and a couple of League Cups off them.
League Cups, yeah, absolutely right. That's the real rivals, yeah.
Yeah, and that's when they've been strong. When we've been strong, we haven't taken anything from Man City at all.
Come second.
We come second. We they did a treble when we were meant to be the team that won the league, and the season after that, they won the league.
Yeah.
And we won nothing. So we've pushed them, but we're not their rivals because we haven't taken anything from them.
That's a big.
Liverpool have. Whilst Liverpool have taken from them. Liverpool took a League Cup from them in 24.
Yeah.
And in last season, Liverpool took the ultimate insult to Man City is that Liverpool took it away from them and thrashed them, smashed them, just like they smashed us. But the results between us and Liverpool were 2 draws. But in terms of like quality, they smashed us.
They smashed us.
Not even close.
Absolutely.
And beating them home and away, smashed them.
We didn't even lead the league one day last season, and people were saying that.
And that's the thing. I'm not bigging myself up. The one thing I did is that I stayed true to myself, and I was always banging the drum on every podcast that I was invited on by saying, I don't know what you guys are talking about. We've never been in a title race. We've never been in it. And I've said that many times. I even gone as far as saying we haven't got world-class players. And I stand by that. There's a lot of people who are very angry with me.
Same with me, and I get loads of abuse.
because I won't say Saka's world-class.
Right. I don't believe
Saka's world-class is that I say he's close to being world-class because
he needs to win.
Yeah, that as well. But in terms of like really consistent. When you look at world-class players, you have to look at play. When Messi and Ronaldo, they do it every week. Mbappe, despite what you say about his struggle at Real Madrid, he's still got 20. He's got nearly 30-something goals. You know what I mean? Haaland had a poor season, but he's got 21 league goals.
That's a poor season.
Yeah. Salah, not the season just gone, the season before that, was injured, he was missing chances, but he still came up with big numbers. And I'm saying that for Saka to be world class, I want the ball in the net. I don't want assists.
Right.
That means nothing to me, assists.
Right.
It's the ball in the net because he's a forward. I want the ball in the net. And and that's the thing. If he can get those numbers that that Salah's getting, or even half the numbers that Salah's getting, then there's a conversation about him being world class. But if you're not allowed to say it. A lot of these fans from West Africa,
from everywhere,
Nigeria,
we're
not having it. They say they're against me because I won't say he's world class. DG thinks he's world class. DG, he clearly hasn't seen Perez play. He clearly hasn't seen on replay. He clearly hasn't seen Bergkamp play. He hasn't seen the team, George Graham's team. George Graham's team that won trophies. The Arsene Wenger team that created records.
Records, yeah.
we're now comparing Saka, Saliba, and Salah in that class when they haven't won anything.
No, exactly. And we've got these young little squirts, just like what you're talking about, that get thousands of people following them, that hang off their every word, that's trying to put Gabriel in all-time 11s. It's like, what is going on? Like,
Well, there's a couple of people that say Gabriel and Saliba are the best defensive partnership we've ever had.
Jesus.
And I think these people, but the thing about it is these people got platforms and people listen to them and don't correct them.
They do.
They don't correct them. And I think what the situation is that we all support Arsenal. You know, and normally, of course, you want to say your wife's the prettiest at home. Of course, you want to say your child is the cleverest kid that's got the best A level results and has got a degree from Harvard and has got a master's from Cambridge. Of course, you want to say that about your kid. Of course, you want to say that your shoes are better than the other person's shoes. Of course, you want to say you've got the best ass. Of course, you want to say that you're the best looking bloke ever.
Yeah.
But the fact is that facts outweigh opinions. Facts outweigh loyalty.
Yes.
And the fact is that until Arsenal Football Club start winning these big trophies, we can't say that we're one of the best teams in Europe. We can't say we're one of the best teams in the league of all time. And we can't say we've got the best manager. We can't.
Nope. Yep. And I think
certain players are world class.
Big facts, and I'm with you. And I've said that after half.
Look at Citrella. Look at Citrella. Look at Citrella.
Yeah. This is Dio. Big up Dio, man, and big up Josh. Big up True Gooner for the raid. Appreciate that, my guy. Big up Josh every time. Make sure you're subscribing to True Gooner. He's on his way to 14K. When I started subscribing, he was on 10, so he's absolutely flying.
I think the thing about Arsenal fans is that everyone says the same things. Everyone's happy with the same things. Everyone rates the same player. Everyone's got the same percentage rating for the manager. No one says anything different. No one wants to upset anybody. No one wants to rock the boat. No one wants to give their opinion.
Kenny, I got the perfect thing for this. Have you seen the other thing on AFTV? I won't play the whole thing. Have you seen Lee and Cecil? Have you seen those two?
What have they done?
Let me show. I'm not going to play the whole thing.
They're my two favourite people on that channel, so I'll be having words with them.
What I'm saying is it literally rolls into exactly what you've just been talking about, my friend. And
before we start, the first thing I've got to say, thank you, Cecil,
for getting you in media,
for giving me the experience of media.
Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's a completely, utterly different experience to being a fan.
It's going somewhere.
Listen, I understand it a little bit now, where media people back the club and things like that, because it's a different world.
Yeah, because that's what I want to know, if I'm being honest, because obviously, we've done it a few seasons, done it a few times, thankfully and gratefully, but when we didn't go to the press conference, we actually kind of wanted to, but we were kind of told that you won't be able to do both. You won't be able to do mix zone and the press conference, but you got to do that. When you was in the press conference, you understand, like, it's not, I don't want to say intense, so there's a fly there, but like you said, the media people there, they know, they kind of pick the people they want to.
People think you can just ask any question.
You
can't just, you couldn't just go up and be like, hey, what about it?
Yeah, the more you look after Mikel and Arsenal, the better you're going to get. And that's how it seems to me. Like, you've got to play the game.
Yeah. And I won't play the whole thing because it's about 5 minutes, Ken. But I mean, it literally. Right. I mean,
you see, all the time I've been saying that when I talked about certain fans being the chosen ones, and how AFTV have gone from being what I've been the most opportunist channel anyway. Where they got a few characters and they masqueraded them as top gooners, and then they started going every game. They just confirmed what I've always said about the situation and the relationship with the club. It's it's profitable for them from a monetary point of view, and also from an access point of view, not to say as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. And I get it, because everyone in the media is like that anyway. You know, days of rocking a boat are over. You know, Alex Ferguson's left an impression on every journalist out there, where you look at most of the journalists now, there's no journalists who ask the tough questions. There's no pundits out there asking tough questions, because it's all about what I call kingsmanship.
Working relationship.
You just saw an example of kingsmanship, where I respect them for admitting it.
Yes.
But the fact is that it's no different from what I've always known anyway. You don't have to draw me a picture. I've been saying this for the last since I've taken over.
Because let me tell you, mate, when that bloody mutant, and I call it the mutant channel, and obviously I don't mean, you know, any disrespect to any individuals, but it's a collaborative thing. I used to watch that channel when you was first on it. You know, the likes of Chris Hudson.
Well, I know I don't go on that channel, and I know I'm not welcome anyway. So I disassociated myself with the channel, because I knew there's gonna be a time when they're gonna tell me the French Connection off. and so I wasn't going to humiliate myself by staying there and waiting for them to, you know, tell me to French Connection off, because let's face it, I knew it was coming anyway, and there was other things that I wasn't happy with. But at the end of the day, the fact is that I got what I want. The only thing I want from football is the ability to go and watch Arsenal play, to have access to watch us at the Emirates Stadium, and get tickets for away games that I can humanly go to.
London.
If Arsenal were to ban me from that access, that's it. That will kill me, because that's all I want. I don't want a career in social media. I haven't got the time. I haven't got the patience. And I know full well that no one's going to watch. So
they will watch, Ken. They will watch, Ken. I've been telling you.
Maybe, but one thing I do, I understand the situation. I understand that these guys have got themselves in a situation where it's their full-time job. Yeah. And when it's your full-time job, and you've got a family to feed, you've got, you know, kids to put through education, you've got mortgages to pay, rent to pay. I get it. But the fact is that you've put yourself out there. There has to be people who are going to discuss, you know, first and foremost, your opinions. They are going to sort of like review everything you do. They're going to preview it as well, and they're going to have an opinion. The problem with certain people in social media, and I think the guy who runs AFTV, or I don't want to mention, he can't take it. He never accepts. He's always he's always moaning about what people say about him, and he says that we're disruptors, and everyone seems to be jealous of his success. Not jealous of his success. What he wants from people is for everyone to praise him. He doesn't want anyone to say, we don't like your content. He can't take it. Well, not too funny. You put yourself out there, mate.
Yeah, that's it.
You are the one who you're the one who put yourself out there as a representative of the football club. You're on every TV station. You're on Channel 4, BBC, Radio 5, TalkSport, Sky Sports, ITV. Every time they wanted there something happened at Arsenal, like a new signing, if the manager was leaving, if there was transfer speculation, or there was like controversial incidents or poor results, you were the go-to man. You accepted that. You never once said to any of those TV stations, ask another fan. I'm not the voice of the fans. You accepted that. When John Obi Mikel interviewed you and said that you ran one of the biggest fan shows out there, and you're one of the most prominent gooners, you didn't correct him. So if you don't correct him and you accept that handle, don't get the ump if people analyse what you're going to say and say, you know what, we don't like your content, we think your content's poor, or we love your content.
Cooking.
Get out of the kitchen. Don't cry about Simon Jordan. I mean, the Simon Jordan interview was 5 years ago, and he's still crying about it.
Crying about now, yeah.
Move on. Move on. End of the day, has that stopped you from going to film premieres? No, it hasn't. Has that stopped you from going to like the Voice Award? No, it hasn't. Has that stopped you from going to the Oxford Union or Cambridge Union or going all over the world where everyone interviews? No, it hasn't. So stop whinging about criticism and get on with it. Because at the end of the day, that's what happens. If you put you're the biggest channel, you're the most watched channel out of all the YouTube channels, except that there's people who are going to talk about you in negative ways, and that if people have got problems with you, they're going to say it.
Yeah,
just accept it. Stop whinging. Get on with it. At the end of the day, the rewards you're getting outweighs the criticism.
Fact, that access, the thing that they're vying for so much, and this is why I always say it. Like, I'd love this to be a job as well. Of course I would. However, you're always going to know what I think. It's never going to be PR spin that's handed down from the club. You're never going to hear me mirroring what the manager says. You're going to know what I think. So, go on, man.
You shout down other people who go on your channel who don't say anything positive about the club, and you turn your nose up on people who have their own views, and you marginalise people who are on your channel who had their own views, and they're not there no more.
Oh,
so come on, mate.
RIP as well. RIP, bro. RIP.
So come on, mate.
There's others.
Come, mate. Enjoy the spoils. Enjoy the spoils, and accept that you're there to be scrutinised.
But you know what I don't like as well, Ken, is when he says to Yard, because when Yardman's saying Arteta out, and he'll say things like, "I'll go and have a drink." I think that's a piss take. If I'm being terribly honest with you, you're insinuating that.
Let me tell you something. Now, if he was an Arteta fan, he'll be in Singapore with them.
Kenny knows.
He'll be in Singapore with them.
Kenny is the realist. This is why I told you what to expect, because we ain't pulling no punches over here. But listen, man, let me just big up Josh once again. True Gooner, thank you for the raid, my guy. Big up Mr. Waffle, Jimbo, Dre. I'm looking on my phone because StreamYard is not showing my YouTube chat, just my Twitch chat. Big up everyone that's over on Twitch. Listen, it's always great to get your time. We've just gone over an hour now, but let's try and round it up. Big up Yasser in the building. I see you as well, Kwaja. Big up everyone, man. I really appreciate that. Big up Jimbo saying congrats on 2K. Yeah, man. We just hit 2K recently, on the road to 3K now. And obviously, I want to do this regular with Ken. I know he's a busy man. He don't want to do social media. So, you know what I mean? Maybe we can do it once a month. You know what I mean? What to expect with Ken and Ken. Because
as I said, views.
Go on, mate.
Let me tell you, views. You heard it first. You heard it first here. I'm only stating the obvious. That we haven't even kicked a ball yet. Right? From May the 25th up until the 17th of August, we haven't really kicked a ball. And the reason why I'm saying that is, of course, we've had the tour of Singapore. We've got game at Spurs, and we've got the friendly and the Emirates Cup game. But when I meant real football, we haven't had real proper content in terms of like matches to analyze, performances to chop up and criticize or praise. But let's face it, you still had loads of content. You've had transfer speculation over the striker. You had I think the Madueke interest basically was like 2 weeks worth of content. The anticipation of Eze is another month worth of content. So really, truly, even though the season hasn't started, you still got a situation where you've got lots to work with. But I'll tell you one thing now, you're going to be very, 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 very busy come the 7th of August. Because every game we play is to be analysed, because this is Operation We Must Win.
We must.
We have to. Not, I would like us to, and it'd be nice if. No, we have to.
Have to. Yeah.
And that means that every podcast involving an Arsenal fan or an Arsenal channel or a channel owned by someone who supports Arsenal, I can tell you categorically, they'll be monitored, because Do you remember the time when Teddy Sheringham went to Man United in his first season? He won Sweet FA.
Yeah.
And we all sang the song. And then the second season, everything he did was monitored. Throughout the season, we kept on saying, "Oh, Teddy, he went to Man United and he won fuck all." This is the 25-26 season is the Teddy Sheringham season because all eyes are on Arsenal. Liverpool fans, especially the social media fans, will be watching Arsenal. The pundits on Sky and the BBC and TNT Sports will be like eyes on Arsenal because of the expectations now. And then there'll be eyes from even people who love football, don't support a team. Even there'll be eyes on Arsenal from teams from abroad because we've now got that striker.
Yeah.
All right. And we've even though I think there's a more important position than the striker, the left-hand side, we've got a striker. So expectations are going to go sky high.
They already have, yeah.
No. You think they have? we're talking Jack and the Beanstalks. We're talking like the Tour of Foil.
Yeah.
We're talking like the Statue of Liberty, the Statue of Liberty. There, those expectations.
Yeah.
Trust me, every content next season is going to be like, whoo,
heated, fire, fuego. You know what I mean? Fire. And I hope to have you back, man. I always love because I always say, man, such a gentleman, know the club, know the insides, and outsides of football. And especially when you go on these big panels, man, sometimes there's a lot of personalities and people are arguing.
If you're Dave, the older I get, one of the things you have to do when you get older is you have to get a degree in life. So you have to understand you have to have a bigger understanding of what's not said to what's said. You have to have a great understanding of body language. Like I know for a fact on certain channels, the viewers are cut to see certain people. Right. So my role is to stay in the background and speak when I'm spoken to, and if I'm needed to correct a few things, then I'll do it. But I'm not going to be a dominant figure. I've had my time. This is someone else's time to shine. I know certain shows about that. But if there's a show where it requires me to say more than ever, I'll crack on. These one-to-ones are actually perfect for me. Yeah. That's probably where I shine the best.
Yeah, you do. You do.
I think, and I say it respectfully, I can say what I like. I don't have to worry about hogging the limelight. People worried that I'm talking too much. It's me and you.
It's me. I want you to talk. That's why I said, Kenny, come over here. Kenny,
it's me and you. And so that's where I could do it. I'm very versatile. I think when you do this for a long time without having a YouTube channel, you have to be versatile. And obviously, there's certain channels that you have to be realistic and say, no, I'm not going to gel. I don't want to go on your channel. But you've got to be polite with it. But I think I know for a fact, is that there's certain channels I have no intention of going on. And thankfully, they got no intention of having me on. So if we see each other at football, we can always have a laugh because there's no expectations that I don't have to feel bad and they don't have to feel bad.
Brilliant. Yeah, no. And listen, legend, man. Like I said, man, like one of the first people on AFTV. And like I said, it's funny how we're doing streams now. And years ago, I was running you down near Chapel Market for a picture. You probably don't even remember. That's what I'm trying to say. So you know, for me, you're a legend.
I find it quite extraordinary. I don't go on AFTV. I'm utterly detested by quite a few people in there, and the thing is mutual. Although the people that all of the people that you show me, I've got a lot. I'm very close to Lee Judges, very close to Curtis, and I love them a bit. And I've got no problem with them at all on what they do on their channel because I want them to do well. I want them to do well. There's a Ty. I've known Ty since he's older than me by about 18 months. I want him to be happy.
Of course.
Yeah. I've got no problem with him. I just don't like the show because I don't think the show is a representative of fans, and I'm not in a good relationship with the guy who runs it.
Yeah.
Or people, I no longer hear from me. His relative as well. and that's fine.
Yep.
I know like a few things have been said about me indirectly. For instance, my view on Declan Rice seems to have upset a certain member of the family. You need to come back on this show and explain your comments on Declan Rice. No, I won't come back on your show because I don't like your content and I don't like watching Play School.
Yeah, we don't like seeing the old.
I certainly don't like being part of CBBC.
We love you for that.
That guy I'm talking about, he's actually a genuine human being. He's actually a very kind human being. You know, that Diaz back. He's one. The thing about it is that he's living the trouble. When I met him, and the first conversation I had with him, he was fantastic, lovely man.
Right.
We went to Crystal Palace away. We got the train back from Finsbury Park. I went to New Barney. He went to a couple of stops before me around, and lovely person. I've seen him around the ground. Lovely guy. You know, there isn't a bad bone in his body. He made a fool of himself.
Yeah.
Regarding you know what happened with Saeed and Robbie. However, I can understand it because of the fact from his point of view, he was brought up in a household. We spoke about that at length. His upbringing. So of course he was going to defend his corner. He just went about it the wrong way. Yeah. I understand why he done it. I always understand that why a lot of people who from Islam, you follow Islam, that it will hurt them because I understand both sort of perspectives. Remember, I'm from Islington.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, in Islington, especially Finsbury Park, if you're from like Finsbury Park area, you'll spend a lot of time in the Tottenham part of the Haringey part of Finsbury Park, the Hackney part of Finsbury Park, and you spend a lot of time in Islington Park, North Islington.
Yeah.
And obviously we've got a massive Jewish community. Remember, I've been circumcised. Now, that doesn't mean I've got deep down knowledge, but what's happening is that I know a lot of people from the community because of where I'm from, and we've had a lot of discussions. And I have attended festivals and parties, with people in Jewish households, and I've also attended, like I said, festivals of Muslim households. So I've got the best of both worlds. It's an education to me.
Yeah, of course.
I'm a Catholic, but I love to learn about other people. I want to love that. I'm interested in all religions, and I understand. That's why I can't beat Julian with a stick because I understand. Because
he was just, as you said, he was sticking up for his mate. Maybe Robbie said
he was sticking up for his religion. However, just as much as he's got a right to stick up for his religion and his heritage. Saeed's got every right to stick up for his heritage. Saeed and Mo should be able to wear the Palestine badge if they choose, because they're sticking up for people who represent their religion, and that's why I'm not sitting on the fence. I'm just telling as it is. I'm saying as it is. However, I do understand that when you talk about the situation, your eyes don't lie.
Yeah,
your eyes can't lie to the extent that when you look at the situations in the Middle East, you have, you can't have an opinion. You can only look at it factually and have to say, hang on here, come on.
Yeah, it don't matter what's going on. People.
It's me, Everest. You're right. It's me. You're right, man.
Yeah,
we've all seen the situation, and I'm thinking, no, hang on here. This from a humanitarian point of view.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't support this.
Yeah, facts.
I can't support this. There has to, I can't support the Americans, stance on that situation. I can't support the British stance on the situation from humanitarian point of view.
Yeah, just from anyone oppressing somebody else. Yeah, no matter what.
I I can't. I don't know enough about the situation, but but judging by what I've been shown, I can't defend it.
I can't back it. Same.
I can't. I'm sorry.
Same.
As a human being, I can't defend it.
Exactly. And that's what I said on it when it was, and it's still going on now. But when it all first come to the fore, I was just like, it don't matter what politics are behind it. From I'm seeing people dead and people being oppressed, I cannot back that at all. So,
but one thing I will say is that that's me. I'm an outsider, but I do understand the situation that if you're from both sides, you have to support your heritage from both sides.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. A big hyper protagonist in the building. He said, "Whoa, what on earth have I just walked into?" We're talking politics, you know what I mean? Kenny's telling you.
That's one of the reasons why, with me, my Instagram's just about football. I can't do politics. A lot of people say, "Oh, why don't you use your platform for this?" And I tend to sell off because I'm not about that.
Yeah. Do you think do you think maybe that's what Robbie was doing, Ken? Like, I just don't want to mix my business with politics, maybe.
No, I think what's happening is that you've got to remember one thing, right? Is that from a business point of view, he was in no man's land.
Yeah.
You've got to remember the situation is that you have to assume. You've got to look at who are your sponsors and who are your backers. And then look at the trends around social media and the trends on mainstream media. You know the girl that who was on what's it? Who's in that cooking program on BBC? You know Nadia Hussein.
Yeah.
She's been dropped by the BBC. She's lost a lot of contracts.
Wow.
Because people have got scared because of her views. So they pulled off from her. She lost the show, and I think that's the situation. Is that from his point of view, he can't risk his business. He can't risk everything he's worked for. So he's saving his business. I don't agree about what he did. I don't like the way it happened. But however, from his point of view, it's his livelihood, and there's people whose jobs are in line. He's responsible for that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the contract you get into when you run your business and you rely heavily on sponsors. You do get in the bed with the devil.
You do.
I'd always say in life, if the devil offers you money, even the angels will come forward. Even the angels will say, "Yes, please."
Yeah.
I'm not saying AFTV is angels. How many decent people have fallen for money? Money talks, unfortunately.
It's the root of all evil, Ken, and you're just literally preaching to the
and that's the situation.
Yeah.
The majority of the sponsors who sponsor AFTV do not want certain things on. For instance, there's certain characters on AFTV when they're at their pomp wouldn't get a job on AFTV now because the sponsors won't have them.
Yeah.
The two, I say categorically, the two main characters wouldn't get a job on AFTV now because the sponsors won't have them.
Facts.
They're not good for business. They're not good for the image that AFTV is trying to portray.
They don't want to hear bloods. No, they don't want to hear bloods or
those two, brought a lot of eyes to the channel.
Young people to the channel.
Yeah, but on the 28th of July, 2025, sponsors won't have them.
Nope.
They're bad for business.
Yeah, they don't want it.
Yeah, image.
Yeah.
That it's being portrayed. Even though one of them's pro Arteta, he's bad for business because of
course he is because of what happened. Yeah, we know who you're talking about.
The other one who's against is bad. Is seen as bad for business as well.
Because it's too urban, it's too ghetto, there's too many bloods, too many fans.
AFTV is no longer about that.
Yeah,
no longer about that. You have to. How to say it? You have to be well measured in the way you speak.
Yes.
You have to be clear-headed. You have to be level-headed.
Yeah.
You have to be eloquent.
You have to be pliable.
Pliable, and you have to be agreeable.
Cooking. cooking and preaching to the choir, man. Listen, we've just done nearly an hour and a half, man. Sorry, you was going to say something, go on, mate.
No, I'm not going to say anything. I think that's the situation with new media. The fact is that in terms of like politics, in terms of like the mainstream media has run out of money. Hollyoaks is on E4. Channel 4 can't afford it no more. As we speak, they're reducing the cost of Emmerdale and Coronation Street, and running out of money. BBC are the only ones who've got the money, and even then they're penny pension. Gary Lineker was sacked because of money. It wasn't because of his views. It's because they used that excuse because of his salary was too high. The same thing that happened to Greg Wallace, and the same thing happened to John Turode, and the same happened to Gino. They knew all about Greg Wallace. They knew what Greg Wallace was about. But because he was good, because he was getting views, they didn't care. But when it came to saving money, out you go, Greg, you did this, this, and that. The same with John Turode.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. There's not enough money, which means a lot of people who work in new media, you've got a chance of getting a job in the mainstream because you're cheap.
Right. And a lot of those guys come over to YouTube now. I remember a few years ago they were all cussing YouTubers. And now you see them all on YouTube. Why is that?
Because they need to make their money. And because they've got a presence, they know they can get a lot of views and sponsors.
Exactly.
Like Gary Lineker don't need the BBC because his show is heavily sponsored. Gary Neville will leave Sky and he'll concentrate and stick to football in his YouTube thing because the money's there. There's a lot of money
in YouTube
coming to YouTube, and that's why a lot of stars like Rio Ferdinand,
Carl Froch,
but Rio Ferdinand quit TNT because he knows a lot of money now is going to be pulled in for sponsors into YouTube and that's where a lot of celebrities are going. So all this money you guys are getting, you've got competition from, and I say it respectfully, real stars.
No, and you're absolutely right. I'm happy for YouTube because it gives someone who talks like me, who might look like me, the opportunity to come and voice my opinions about my once great. Yeah, right. And but you are bang on the money, right? These but all I can do, because I can't battle with that. If the Carl Froch has got a channel and I've got a channel, then we know where everyone's going to go. Because you said they are the real celebrities. But it's just funny. I just say it's the irony because only a few years ago they were shitting on us. So we don't know anything.
And they could shit on you because for some reason they were still the most watched people. Of course, deep down, when people from YouTube called them disruptors, call themselves disruptors, well, you can't be disruptors if I see the same disruptors on the mainstream. If you're a disruptor, what are you doing on BBC? The BBC running a show about the worst pundits out there. What are you doing on Talk Sport if you're disruptors?
Exactly.
What are you doing on Sky Sports? You know, when they got rid of Soccer AM, why are you YouTubers on there? You're disruptors. So why are you in there for? You disrupted. You've beaten them. You joined them.
That's what I mean. It's all inverted, Ken. Do you know what I mean? We got the celebrities coming to YouTube. The YouTubers trying to be celebrities, and they're kind of just met in the middle somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Why is Chunks now in the mainstream? Why is KSI always in the mainstream? You might be disrupted, aren't you?
Kenny's
young Philly before he got into difficulties in Australia.
Yeah.
What was he doing on TV? He's a disruptor, right?
Bullshit. Bullshit. Kenny absolutely cooking, man, as always, man. But listen, man, we're gonna round it up there. I'm gonna listen. It's always great to have your time, man. And like I said, it just
no problem. Look, the fact is that you're gonna see a lot. I'm gonna see a lot more of you because I'll tell you one thing. As I said before, I'm not saying
we're gonna be busy, right?
You can never tell the future, but this is one prediction that is going to come true for fruition. There's going to be eyes on Arsenal Football Club.
Yes, absolutely, man. And you can find Kenny Ken 1972 on Instagram.
You know what, Citrella, you're right. You're only disruptor till they buy you.
Oh.
You know what? The quote of the day. The quote of the day, Centralia. You are only a disruptor till they buy you.
Till they buy you.
Pin that comment.
Pin that comment. Let me see. We're definitely going to start that.
It's the truest thing I've seen in years.
Exactly that. And most people have got their price, but you will. And I definitely want to see a lot more of you because, like I said, I value what you say. You know what I mean? I value the standpoint that you take. Like I said, for me, you're an Arsenal legend, always will be. Do you know what I mean?
Mate.
No,
originals.
I'm 41 years old, mate. Like, so, like I said, when I saw AFTV first coming around, like I said, it was you, it was Chris Hudson, it was Mo, it was all of the originals.
You know what? I actually got on that channel by accident.
Really?
Have you? Yeah, because what it was is that do you remember? Do you know Poet?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
me and him, we're great friends. I don't see much of him, but every time he sees me, we always give each other a hug. He got me in Filthy Fellas. I don't know why he wanted me. And I said, no, I'm too old for this. You need better. He said, no, we need an uncle. We need an uncle. And you'll be our uncle on there. All right. So he paired me with Robbie and we got on. And then that's how I started going on AFTV. And then obviously the Watford incident happened, which everyone knows about. And it went viral. And that was it. I could never get away from going hiding after that. And then I stopped down AFTV. And they asked me back to do a show Turkish. And then I went back and then, probably shouldn't have gone back.
No, well, listen, it was great. It was great at the beginning because we were tired of seeing, old farts like me or whatever, like it's Gillette Soccer Saturday, football's born in the country. We can never watch it. We're watching geezers they were the first people to do watch-alongs almost. Do you know what I mean? They're basically doing watch-alongs and we're watching them.
I understand the situation and I get what the situation is, but the fact is that regardless of, what I think of the channel and what I think of the guy who runs it, if it wasn't for him, a lot of people would probably want to be doing what they're doing now. So, if God forbid he's not around anymore and he's in the sky, I think everyone should tip a hat off to him. I mean, it's silly. We may not be we're not the best of friends, but anyone who has a YouTube channel, tip your hat off to the guy. You own one.
And that's what I mean, Ken, because before that's the point I was getting at. We were tired of seeing Jeff Stelling and all these people, and we wanted to hear from real fans. And when they first started doing it, and people were coming out of the ground fresh off the game, you actually really got the real. And then, like you said, you're only a disruptor until they buy you. Then it become about money. Then they were doing devil's advocate. Then they're arguing with fans about their opinions. It's almost like you're trying to, condition people.
The fact is that you have to do with the times, and that's what they've done. They've left people behind, or they've told people to do the French Connection off. Or you can see the French Connection off coming, and you take your hint, you take your cues. But the situations, they have to remain relevant. The fan cams are basically do not pay them paid away. They're irrelevant. There's no big stars on there. So the watch-alongs and there are podcasts are where the stars are going to be born now on the channel. That's where the stars can be born.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, man. Like I said, I got to go and bloody eat as well now, but this has always been enjoyable, man. I love having you on. Like I said,
thank you very much.
I'd like to do this regular, like I said, not every week, but maybe like once a month we can have a what to expect, because like I said, I feel like people need to hear what you've got to say, man, and you don't always get to talk. And that's why, I'm happy for you to do.
You know what they say? Less is more.
Less is more, but once a month, like a little monthly, I definitely think we need to do it again.
You've got to remember one thing: if you're a football commentator and the chat and everyone's watching the game anyway, you don't have to say much. They're watching it anyway. You just have to know when they need you to speak.
No, exactly. Absolute legend, man. Love having you on. Big up. No, honestly, it's been a pleasure. Like I said, big up Rob, big up Waffle, Hendo, everyone in the chat. Big up Normski. I hope you're good as well, my bro. Make sure you're subbing to him. I can't see the YouTube chat, only the Twitch chat. because we're on YouTube and Twitch. So I'm so sorry about that, guys. Hopefully it will fix up next time, man. But we're going to send you over to Footy Reacts. He's going to be talking all things Liverpool. I hope you have a great evening. We'll be back again tomorrow with probably an intervention, and we've got Under the Lenses coming with Yorkshire Gunner or Yorkshire Gooner, and we've got Sunshine FC as well. So thanks again, Kenny. Have a great evening, mate. Everyone, peace up, and we'll see you again soon, man. Views Raid on Football React.